add with the same or different signs. So example 1, we're going to solve for the following. So we have -2 plus 6. So let's represent this like on a number line here. So we have 0, -1, -2, -3 as we go to the left. To the right, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So if we have -2, we're going to start here, right? So we're starting here, and then we're going to add 6. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we end here at 4. So -2 plus 6 then is equal to 4. Now, I'm going to show you another way we could have solved this, and another a way you could have seen. So we could have gone 6 minus 2, right? This negative sign, if we were to move it to like here, right, to right here where we go 6, and then just go -2, that would also get us to 4, right? And so, right, we could have seen it on, actually, let's just use the same number line. So if we start at 6, then we go down 2, so we go 1, 2, and we also end up at 4. So see how we could have solved it 2 different ways just here on this one. So there's just kind of different ways to look at it. Now let's look at another example. Example 2. When we have 2 negatives next to each other, they become positive. So let's look at the first example. So we have -8 minus -4. So that negative can become positive 4. And then we can go ahead and solve. So another way, right, we can look at this if we were to do a number line, right, and we start at -8, -7, -6, -5, -4, -3, -2, -1. We'll just stop there. So we're going to start at -8, and then we're going to add 4. So that means we're going to the right. We're becoming less negative. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4, and we end up at -4. So that would be our answer. Now I'm going to also show you another trick on this. So this is a trick. So we're going to pretend -8 is actually +8, and +4 is -4. So we're going to switch the signs. But in the end, keep the negative sign. So how does that work then? Well, if we gone 8 minus 4, which is what we're more used to, so 8 minus 4 then is 4, but it says we're going to keep, right, the negative sign. So we go ahead and just add the negative sign. And the reason why we keep the negative sign is because the larger number is negative, right? 8 is larger than 4, so we're going to keep the sign of the larger number. So it would have also got us to -4. So here's a trick that people use. This is what it looks like on a number line. So there's just different ways we could go ahead and solve for this. Now let's look at another example. So example 3. Now we have -2 minus -3. Well, those two, right, those are 2 negative signs next to each other, so they'll become positive. So we have -2 plus 3. And what does that equal? Well, if we think about it, right, we could just go ahead and also just change the order where we go 3 minus 2, and that would get us to +1. Or, right, if you think about it on a number line, right? If we start here, we need to go over 3 because we're adding 3 to it. 1, 2, 3. We end up at 1. Now, let's do another example. Example 4. So we have 2 plus -9. So this is where we could use our trick that we learned in the previous example, where this is 2 plus 9. So rather than doing this on a number line, we could just go ahead and go 9 minus 2. So we're using our trick, and we get 7, but we're going to keep the negative sign. So it's -7. Another way, right, we could have thought about this is if we have -9, and then we're going to add 2 to that. So if we're going from -9, add 2, right, then we're just going to go to the right on the number line, right? So it's not 8, but then it's 7, right? We have to move over 2. So that would be -7. So maybe you can also visually think about the number line and how that works. Now, example 5. So we have, solve for the following. We have 5 minus -4. Well, 5 minus -4, right, that becomes 5 plus 4 because these two negative signs become positive. And we get 5 plus 4, so that's 9.